We already know that falls from height are consistently one of the biggest killers in the demolition and construction industry. But we continue to insist that men and women work at height. We know that workers are injured, maimed and killed by heavy equipment. Yet we still plan our projects in a way that requires men and machines to work in dangerously close proximity. We know that working on demolition sites requires a certain degree of competence, but we continually forego real competence and replace it with a plastic card that proves merely that someone can pass a test in a classroom. So, with all that being said, just how committed is the industry to the safety of those working on our sites? And I ask this for a very specific reason, which I will get to in just a moment. But first, I'd like you to think about your car for just a second. Your car almost certainly has seatbelts, airbags, ABS braking, impact protection, and a whole host of other features designed to keep you and your passengers safe. You didn't ask for those features, and there was no option to have them removed. On the road, safety features are not an option, they're a legal requirement. Off-road, however, and on demolition and construction sites, it seems that every safety feature is offered as an option. And it's down to the owner of the machine. Does he want to pay the extra to ensure the safety of the person driving the machine or those around him? Or would he prefer to keep the money in his pocket and his fingers crossed in the hope that nothing untoward happens? Now, this thought was triggered basically by the IntelliSense system that I saw up at JCB last week. I've done a podcast on it, so I won't bore you with the details, but it's basically a set of AI-powered cameras that provide the operator with pretty much a 360-degree vision around the machine. And it also has the ability to record, store, and analyze near-miss data. This, too, is offered as a factory-fit option. Now, I don't know, because I didn't ask, I don't know how much the IntelliSense system costs. Frankly, it shouldn't matter. Even if it was thousands of pounds, it's still far less than the cost of a human life. But while some companies out there embrace IntelliSense, others will choose the bottom line over safety. Should they even have a choice? There are some Tier 1 contractors now that are mandating the use of reversing cameras, pedestrian warning systems, and human form recognition technology. But the UK construction equipment industry is still dominated by plant hire and rental companies. Those companies can't charge more for the presence of those safety systems. So guess what? They don't specify them. Again, while rental equipment accounts for around 80 or 90% of all the plant on UK demolition and construction sites, that means that the take-up of these potentially life-saving systems is, at best, negligible. Now, we could wait for government and legislators to demand the adoption of any and all available safety systems, but we know they move at a snail's pace. How many construction workers will die before the government gets around to mandating these things? I guess you might argue that the manufacturers themselves should just fit the systems, whether they're requested or not, and just charge the customer accordingly. But you also know full well there'll be other manufacturers out there that will be happy to sell a stripped-down safety optional piece of kit. Ultimately, this surely comes down to the owners of the equipment to step up, grab the bull by the horns, and just make everybody as safe as possible. You wouldn't shop around to identify the least safe car on the road just to save a few quid. So why do we continue to do it when specifying demolition and construction equipment?